right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Abundant sunshine. Another stunner of a day for August on the way, when the typical summer warmth returns and if any rain chances arrive as it heats up.
A poet on death row, set to be executed in a matter of weeks. Tonight, the celebration of his art, just hours before a crucial hearing that could spare his life. Our top story, an accused arsonist caught on camera. Tonight, the terrifying crime investigators are calling random.
I'm just in shock and absolute utter disbelief.
That man is in jail charged with intentionally setting his neighbor's home on fire while they were asleep. Good evening, everyone. I'm Kelly Jackson.
And I'm Mike Bush. This happened in North St. Louis County on Riverwoods Estates Boulevard between Hartershell and Charbonnier Roads. New tonight, Robert Townsend shows us the video that stunned police and neighbors.
Investigators say in the thick of the night, just after 1 Tuesday morning, a couple's Ring security system caught this man on video intentionally setting their home in Florissant on fire.
All of a sudden, your whole world is on fire.
Sandy Kessler is the couple's insurance agent and friend. She says their neighbor suspect, Joshua Thomas, first rode an electric scooter down to Craig and Teresa Lakenberger's home on Riverwood Estates Boulevard, got off the scooter, and then walked onto their front porch.
He is literally chilling and looking at his phone or doing something on his phone while he's about ready to set their house on fire.
According to a probable cause statement, Thomas suddenly lit an object and placed it next to the exterior wall of the couple's front porch while they slept.
He lights the igniter and stands there and watches it until it's big enough that he can walk away knowing it's gonna do damage.
Police say flames raced across the couple's roof, blew off their garage door, destroyed their home of 40 years, their cars in their garage, and more. The couple got out of their house thanks to their barking dog and their smoke alarm. Kessler is convinced, without a doubt, that's what saved their lives.
They got up and in seconds got out the back of the house.
Police arrested Thomas down the street at his home. They say he was still wearing the same red mask and black clothing he had on in this video.
Absolutely random. They don't know each other.
Kessler will help her friends rebuild.
They're wonderful people and they are going to get back up.
Robert Townsend, 5 on your side.
The couple is now staying at a hotel. Thomas is charged with first-degree arson. Tonight, St. Louis County Police are investigating the shooting death of a teenage boy in Limay. The shooting happened just before 1 this afternoon at a home on Getz Avenue. Police have not released many details, only saying they're investigating this as a suspicious death. We talked to a neighbor who heard the commotion.
Just heard a real low pop. It's one of those distinct sounds that you can kind of know what it is. One of the kids knocked on the window and call the police, call the ambulance.
Investigators are asking anyone with information to call county police at 636-529-8210. You can also leave an anonymous tip with Crime Stoppers. That number is 866-371-TIPS.
We have new information tonight in an early morning deadly hit and run in Jennings. Police have identified the victim as 71-year-old Vanessa Ford. She died after being hit by a car near Wilburn Drive. The car then took off. Police are still looking for a suspect.
Turning now to the weather impact forecast. It was a comfortable night at the old ballpark.
Oh, yeah, we are getting a break from the usual August heat and humidity. Chief Meteorologist Connell, you say, though, it's not going to last long.
No, we've got a couple more days to deal with nice, comfortable conditions. Of course, Cardinals in this home stand with the Brewers. Not a lot of big heat at the ballpark tonight, not a lot of big heat around St. Louis. It is incredibly comfortable looking out over the metro area right now, and it stays that way into tomorrow morning, if not cool. We're already down to 68 degrees right now. Even though we have some clouds sliding in from the north and west, we will have a partly to at times mostly cloudy sky during the overnight hours. But here's the deal. We're already in the low to mid 60s in a lot of places, easily down into the 50s tomorrow morning. This air is so dry, we just don't get the opportunity for any of those showers that are farther to the north to reach the ground. And that leaves us with the cozy weather continuing here for the next few days. It's not crystal clear, but certainly it's nice. It will turn warmer, though, as we head into the weekend. We'll talk more about the weekend forecast and if that warmer air is going to increase our chances for rain. It's starting to get a little dry. Might need to use that sprinkler before the end of the week. We'll see you in a few minutes, Mike.
Day 3 of school is approaching, and some parents say they are seeing improvement in transportation on day 2. Families who didn't have their ride show up yesterday say they had one today. However, some parents told us that transportation didn't show up and they had to take their kids themselves. SLPS lost multiple buses recently when vendors had delays. Parents are saying they're having to lean on each other.
I know they're working very hard to get it straightened out, but the fact is we don't know how long it will take. And so having a backup plan, connecting with other parents and families is essential.
Parents having trouble with transportation can call 314-633-5107.
Tonight, St. Louis police are asking for your help to find the gunman wanted for a double shooting near downtown. The gunfire broke out around 6 Sunday morning at the BP station that was on South Broadway. 2 men were shot and taken to the hospital. Police are looking for a black Infiniti with heavy damage to the front and no visible plates. If you recognize the car or the gunman, call Crime Stoppers 866-371-TIPS. You will remain anonymous. Tomorrow, a judge could decide the fate of a man who has been sitting on death row for decades. Marcellus Williams is scheduled to be executed September 24th. He is convicted of killing former Post-Dispatch reporter Felicia Gale in 1998. St. Louis County Prosecutor Wesley Bell is trying to overturn the conviction, claiming DNA evidence does not link him to the crime. Those who know Marcellus Williams know him as an avid poet who has spent much of his time behind bars seeking faith and writing.
Within the past couple of hours, poetry lovers honored Williams ahead of tomorrow's court hearing. And new tonight, Brent Solomon takes us to the Grove for a showcase of support.
But it's confusion meets delusion when illusion's all you see.
If words have power,
Not just release that pent-up trauma, but also to heal.
poet Deja Polk, better known as Energy, hopes her words serve as a change agent.
This could be a possibility for so many others. It doesn't hit you until it hits you.
It's why those calling for justice united behind these 4 walls, coming together as one voice.
Making it to our destiny so fast.
The Word Up spoken event happens every Tuesday night here at Java in the Grove. But tonight, it's in honor of one man, Marcellus Williams.
But over the years, we have amplified some of his poems. So we put together a little booklet. It's about 10 poems of his together.
Williams was convicted in 1998 in the stabbing death of former social worker and newspaper reporter Felicia Gale. Prosecutor Wesley Bell says Williams is innocent, and that finds these poetry lovers coming together.
We are highlighting an incredible story of a poet that is on death row.
And clinging to hope that the judge will side with the prosecutor.
And of course, lately in our court system, in our state with wrongful convictions, there has been some success, so I'm also leaning on that success.
Or maybe even poetry gave him hope. And so to be able to use that same thing that kept him sane, during that time period that he was, or he is, in this situation, I really believe that he deserves this.
Brent Solomon, 5 on your side.
Tomorrow's hearing is scheduled for 8:30 in the morning in Clayton.
Tonight, it is much harder to change your gender on your ID. The Missouri Department of Revenue removed a form from its website to do so without announcing the change. Now, Missourians must provide a court order or proof of gender affirmation surgery. It's a change sparking reaction from advocates and lawmakers.
Not having some type of conversation with the community really impacts a state's ability to say, we care about what you think, we care about what you think or what you say.
Why was it quietly rolled out? This isn't something like government should be fully transparent. This government is of the people, by the people, and for the people. So if something as significant as gender and a policy is going to be changed or written or pushed out, the people should know.
We asked the Department of Revenue what prompted this and if they can make these changes without notice. The department did not respond.
St. Louis is putting more than $3 million to improving a part of 7th Street. The stretch of road sits between America Center and Busch Stadium. Officials say it'll add a new bike lane, streets, sidewalks, and more to make 7th Street more pedestrian friendly. St. Louis Cardinals are supporting the project. However, local businesses do have some concerns.
I think the voice of the community and the businesses, they should matter in making these decisions. It shouldn't just be those people making the decisions that disrupt business in the downtown area.
The Board of Public Service says construction will start next month and will last through next summer.
Sweet Home Chicago for the former tenants of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. We're live tonight at night 2 of the DNC. Plus, a St. Louis mobile clinic at the center of a convention controversy. We verify if this was planned by the Democrats.
Instead of the lazy, hazy days of summer, it's more like the invigorating mornings of autumn. There are changes arriving this weekend that will decrease our comfort levels.
The second night of the Democratic National Convention just wrapped up in Chicago, and some big names took to the stage.
The night included speeches from former President Barack Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama and Second Gentleman Doug Emhoff. 5 on Your Side political editor Mark Maxwell joins us live from United Center. Mark.
Yeah, Mike and Kelly, good evening. If President Barack Obama's big speech at the Democratic National Convention when he was accepting the nomination was about hope and change, tonight was about renewed hope. In that same message, the renewal coming from Joe Biden stepping off the stage, of course, Democrats carrying their party into this second night of the convention and really turning the page here from the Biden term now to Kamala Harris. We saw that ceremonial roll call of states where Missouri, Illinois, and all 50 states pledged their delegates to back Kamala Harris and Tim Walz for the presidency. Governor J.B. Pritzker and Senator Tammy Duckworth representing Illinois on the national spotlight, coming out swinging at Donald Trump on the stage there. The United Center appeared to fall spellbound to former First Lady Michelle Obama and former President Barack Obama, who closed out the night with keynote addresses. President Obama started out paying respects to Joe Biden's place in presidential history, and then the former president pivoted from celebrating Joe Biden into savaging Donald Trump with his signature form of political trash talk. We'll give you a little bit of that sound right now.
We needed a leader who was steady and brought people together and was selfless enough to do the rarest thing there is in politics, putting his own ambition aside for the sake of the country. History will remember Joe Biden as an outstanding president who defended democracy at a moment of great danger.
And that danger, as President Obama tells it, coming from former President Donald Trump. Obama also pivoting to joust with Trump, making fun of him for focusing on crowd size too frequently, and said he's been just peddling a long stream of grievances ever since he came down the elevator those 9 years ago. It seemed like President Obama was really trying to pick a fight there with former President Donald Trump, and we just have about 11 weeks to go until this big face-off here. But now we're getting ready for the big speech tomorrow night, where Vice Presidential nominee Tim Walz will address this convention for the first time and lay out his vision and perhaps offer some hope to Democrats trying to defend that blue wall in the Midwest, that maybe his message will help resonate and connect with those voters who could help them do just that. But that was a big night for the Obamas in Chicago and Illinois. A lot of Illinois Democrats and the delegation here on the national spotlight tonight. In Chicago, Mark Maxwell, 5 on Your Side.
And Mark, before you go, it was tough enough for Barack Obama to follow Michelle Obama tonight. It's a tough act to follow the Obamas tomorrow night for Tim Walz.
Right, well, we'll have a full 24 hours to reset, but in only the way he can, President Obama actually made that remark that he's the only guy dumb enough to try and follow that act of his wife there. But she had a lot to say, too, and she also poked at former President Donald Trump, and she said, who's going to tell him that maybe he's running for one of those black jobs, of course, mentioning her husband's role in that historic figurehead in that position, and perhaps Kamala Harris come November, poking the bear there, if you will. But yeah, she certainly controlled the stage, and we saw that from President Obama tonight too. But tomorrow night, Tim Walz will see if he has that star power.
And Mark will report live from the convention every night until it wraps up on Thursday. You can catch his reports on air, online at KSDK.com, and of course streaming on 5+.
And former President Trump was in the swing state of Michigan today to lay out his plan to fight crime. He also gave his thoughts on night one of the DNC.
I watched last night in amazement as they tried to pretend that everything was great, the crime was great, the border was great, there wasn't a problem at all, no inflation, no nothing.
Mr. Trump also plans to visit the swing states of Arizona, North Carolina, and Nevada this week. A St. Louis area branch of Planned Parenthood is making headlines at the DNC. Tonight, our Verify team looks into claims Democrats are doing more than just talking about reproductive rights. Here's Brandon Lewis.
Democrats have made reproductive freedoms a cornerstone of their policy agenda for the November elections. Some headlines and posts claim the party is even offering free abortions and vasectomies during this week's convention. A viewer asked us if this is actually happening. So let's verify. Our sources are Planned Parenthood Great Rivers and the Democratic National Committee. Planned Parenthood Great Rivers operates a mobile clinic providing free abortions, emergency contraception, and vasectomies. This week, it's offering services about a mile away from the DNC's main venue. However, the two events are not connected. The DNC's website makes no mention of a mobile abortion clinic, and Planned Parenthood's announcement about this week's services doesn't discuss the DNC. So, no, the Democrats are not offering free abortions and vasectomies during this week's convention. The services also require an appointment, and all of the slots were taken well before the convention began. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
What would you like for us to verify? Send us an email, verify@ksdk.com.
Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell rejoins us now with that weather impact forecast, and the heat will be on once again later this week, but we still have some comfortable days, right, Scott?
We still have some comfortable days and some incredibly comfortable mornings, and for that matter, evenings. It is nice outside this evening, cooling back into the 60s in most spots. Look at this shot from Bonne Terre. Through the evening hours, we've had some clouds rolling through as the sun was setting this evening. Of course, we're just past full moon. It's rising, so you can still see that this evening. Looking out at Lambert, flight's doing pretty well across the area as we haven't had a lot of weather in the immediate region across the middle part of the country that would slow things down. Forest Park, it's still 67 degrees. Creve Coeur, Baldwin, 68, but Eureka's down to 61 right now. So is Troy, Illinois, and Millstadt already down to 60 degrees at this moment. Our temperatures are dropping off tonight, even though we have a mostly cloudy sky. 68 at Lambert right now. Winds are out of the east. Light, 6 miles per hour. 54 degrees your dew point. Those dew points down into the 50s, absolutely incredible for this time of year. 81 was our high today. The average is 88, and usually that comes with the humidity and it's kind of steamy. None of that business around here today. Really nice overnight tonight as we drop back into the low and mid 50s. Needing a jacket heading out the door early tomorrow morning. We should start in the 50s and by 7, 8 o'clock get back into the lower 60s in St. Louis. Here are those clouds that are streaming in from the north and west. The air is so dry that as this cloud cover slides on in, it basically fizzles as far as the showers go. They just dry up. So we basically stay dry here, but through tomorrow morning early, we'll see at least some cloud cover. Now, our construction forecast, normally we're talking about the heat index. Well, we put it on here, but look at this. Noon tomorrow at 73 with a heat index of 71. We're actually going the other direction because the air is so dry. That'll change going into the weekend, back into the lower 90s on Saturday. As we try to make this transition into the warmer air for Saturday and Sunday, we may have some scattered showers and thunderstorms trying to develop, say, Saturday night into Sunday morning or later Sunday into Sunday night. The timing on that's still a bit iffy, and it's not a huge chance. So, most of the weekend's going to be dry. Say you're going on a float trip this weekend, you're probably okay. But, it's one of those things where we're going to watch the sky. Certainly for the next couple of days, the air is so dry we don't have to worry about it. Temperatures not even reaching 80 for most of us tomorrow, 83 on Thursday, low 90s by Saturday, a little extra cloud cover into the mix over the weekend, and then mid 90s for highs going into next week. So it does get a little warmer. Humidity's not out of control, but we're back to
it is August
summer,
after all.
Yes, more summer-like weather.
Scott, thanks. Frank Cusimano's next with sports.
A good day for the Blues, a promising future for the Mizzou Tigers, and we have the Cardinals. Stick around.
This 5 on Your Side Sports Report is sponsored by Telly Tire and Auto Centers, driving your way since 1942.
We are under the perception that St. Louis is a far better organization than Milwaukee. Historically, yes. Recently, no. The Brewers are running away with the division and will make the playoffs for the 6th time in 7 years. Meanwhile, the Cardinals could be looking at back-to-back losing seasons. In the 8th inning tonight, William Contreras clobbers one to the wall that Victor Scott can't corral. It scores Garrett Mitchell, and the Brewers led it 3-0. The Cardinals made it a game in the 8th. Matt Carpenter will get all of this one, a 2-run shot, and all of a sudden we have a 3-2 ball game at Busch. And then we had some drama. Bottom 9, the pride of Hazelwood West, Devin Williams. Bases loaded, strikes out Nolan Gorman. Brewers win it 3-2. The Cardinals were busy today. They released Brandon Crawford and recalled Luken Baker, who has 32 homers and 79 RBIs in Memphis. And after activating that man, Matt Carpenter, they sent Jordan Walker down to Memphis again. He was 1 for 11 with the Cardinals.
In a perfect world, I just think he still needs to be playing. That's the most important. And you know, the way I look at Jordan Walker, last offseason he went down and focused on his defense, and he came back and he's played himself into an average defender, if not maybe slightly better. I mean, I think this offseason he's going to have to focus on his approach, his swing, and we still believe that he's going to be an enormous talent in this league.
Hey, remember the old days when the Blues angered the NHL by signing Scott Stevens and Brendan Shanahan as free agents? Today, the aggressive Doug Armstrong cashed in his offer sheet signings of 2 former Edmonton Oilers. Dylan Holloway is a 22-year-old who the Blues believe can be a top 9 forward. 6'1", 205, 14th pick in the draft, played 38 regular season games plus the playoffs for the Oilers. And then there's Mr. Broberg. He's a good one. 6'4", 215-pound left-handed shooting defenseman. Phillip could be in the top 4. Armstrong said today the offer sheet process he used for the signings is an underutilized tool.
I think it was reported that I wouldn't have done this to Kenny Hall, and that's the truth. Quite honestly, I'd do it to my mother if she was managing the Oilers. The veterans that have been here now for a while usually come into training camp to get it, just to get their rhythm. I'm not sure that's the best course of action for them this year because the competition is going to be really strong.
Mizzou football kicks off their most hyped season in recent memory in 9 days. Our Corey Miller heard from the captains today in Columbia, including the St. Louis quarterback who now also works for Channel 5.
Here in Columbia, it is hard to understate the hype for this Mizzou football season. And the man conducting the playoff push for the Tigers, well, he knows exactly what kind of responsibility is on his shoulders.
I mean, I love it. That's why I play quarterback. I played quarterback since I started playing football, maybe first grade. And I've never changed positions, just to obviously be the leader of the team. You touch the ball every play, you control the game, you control the speed of the game. Now being in this position, all of that has just been amplified. My responsibility has been amplified, and, I love it. I'm leaning into it. The leadership aspect's been really cool. I can see how, the new class of freshmen and, the younger sophomores, they really look up to me. And, I remember that same feeling. So it's really cool. I'm leaning into it. Obviously, the responsibility is a lot more, but, that's why I do it. That's why I play quarterback.
What a difference a year makes. A year ago, Brady Cook was hearing boos as he took the reins for the Tigers. Now he is the unquestioned leader of a team with championship aspirations. Reporting in Columbia, I'm Corey Miller, 5 on Your Side Sports.
Brady will be with us every Sunday during the football season on Sports Plus. I asked him to shoot a couple of high school VOSATs for us.
And he said no.
Yeah,
We'll have to get him that welcome cake.
Money we're paying him. You think you want to help out the team?
Yeah.
All right, already having fall fever. A local brewery's new cure for what ails you. All right, a possible ETA tonight on this year's arrival of the PSL. Starbucks released the return of its popular pumpkin spice latte on Instagram today. A video shows a phone turning into a pumpkin-shaped telephone with the caption, "Pick up pumpkin." No date was given. Last year, Starbucks rolled out its fall menu on the second to last Wednesday of August, which is tomorrow.
And if you're 21 or older, you can already enjoy Shapley's Pumpkin Ale. The seasonal favorite, dubbed Pumpkin Pie in a Glass, has hit the stores. New this year, Schlafly selling Vanilla Pumpkin Ale. It includes the same pumpkin pie flavors of cinnamon, clove, and nutmeg, but adds a hint of whipped cream or vanilla ice cream on the topping. I don't know when
beverage version
did pumpkin become so popular.
It is so popular.
There you have it. 5 on your side at 10. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is next.
Be sure to start your day with Today in St. Louis at 4 a.m. Have a great tomorrow.